I remember seeing as a kid the film The Goonies when they first made it to the pirate ship and they found all of the gold treasure. Well, now I'm an adult and I have my own gold treasure. The real question now is, where do I store it and how do I store it? Okay, hello future investors and welcome back to another weekly episode. Today I want to talk about something very important, and I know you're probably bored of the analytics of gold as a hedge against inflation and the prices of gold. So I thought, why not talk about something that's a bit more fun and that is often asked by viewers, but it's not often just talked about in videos, and that is storing your gold bullion and your silver bullion at that. Well, as you can see here, I've got some of my treasure from my own stack here, which I've got to be honest, I absolutely love. Now, how do I store it and where do I store it and where should you store it? Well, there's so many options out there and you've probably watched some videos already, but I'm going to give my take on this. Now, I think it's extremely important to have some secure storage and be very discreet about what you have in your precious metals bullion stack. Now, you could start off by saying someone like the stack collector who has archery bows in his house and all sorts of Crocodile Dundee knives. That's a good start in terms of looking after your precious metals. I personally don't have any bow and arrows, archery bows or Crocodile Dundee knives, but I do have a very large German Shepherd, and that starts me with my first point. Having a large dog is actually, all jokes aside, a really good deterrent for your own home alarm system, because dogs have almost a sixth sense to these things, and they are certainly going to let you know before somebody has even stepped foot into your house. Now, you could say, okay, let's talk about safes, home safes. Maybe you've got a mini Amazon safe. Maybe you've got a real big home industrial safe that cost you something like £500+ that's got really high rated security and multiple lock bolts to really secure your precious metals. Maybe you can bolt it down to the floor and to the wall. So even if somebody did have time to case your house and maybe try and rob you while you was away because you've been putting stuff on social media to let those people know that you're not at home. However, if you've got a seriously secure and well trusted and made safe that's bolted to the wall and the floor, you've got a pretty good reassurance that even though they're going to find it, they're going to have a real hard time getting through that safe. Of course, safes are always really, you can break into them if you know what you're doing and you've got the right time. If you look at somebody who's like a locksmith, they can pretty much get into most safes, you know, within reason, especially home safes. But we're talking about the generic person that comes into your home to target you and your precious metals. Now, having said that, you may own a safe, you may have even bolted one down, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're storing your precious metals in there. They could spend a very, very good time casing your home, finding your safe, defeating your German Shepherd, to find that once they finally open the safe, there's nothing but documents in there. So they would walk away empty-handed, but nonetheless, that still would be a big inconvenience to you. However, at least they haven't found your precious metal stash. So there is many ways you can store your precious metals. You can have many deterrents like a home-built safe, a German Shepherd, alarm systems, cameras, but you can also have misleading ways of letting people spend their time to think that you've got your precious metals stored in X location when really it's over in a different location. It might not even be on the premises. And I think that's a really good point. I think a lot of seasoned precious metal stackers and investors do have that in place. They have a safe, maybe they keep some precious metals in there, a smaller value. Maybe content creators have a filming safe that they keep their low value YouTube content material in there. But yeah, in my opinion, I think it's really good to have multiple deterrents and some things that will mislead people and waste their time when looking for those precious metals, because it is very, very important. As we know, bullion is tangible, you own it, and the massive benefit of that is that you own something tangible. It's an investment that you have in your hands that, unless it is robbed from you, no one can take it away from you. So it's a really great asset to have, but you've definitely got to have precautions in place. Now, a really good friend of mine, the Stat Collector, who I often do YouTube lives with every single Sunday, he's a great friend of mine, and he's extremely knowledgeable when it comes to investments and more so numismatic coin collecting. And I absolutely love his knowledge. And he often, we talk in private, and he often comes up with really great ways of how you can protect your bullion. And some of that I'm not even going to share because it's so good that I think some of it you've got to keep to yourself. But if you want to see sort of ideas from the Stat Collector, you can go over to his channel. I'll link his channel in the description below. But he is the chap that's got archery bows, Crocodile Dundee knives. He is the real deal. So yeah, no one would want to case his place. But it's always good to network, and that's my point talking about the Stat Collector. You can really get some great ideas by talking to other precious metal content creators and even precious metal stackers who are a little bit more open to talking about their precious metals bullion. So yeah, that's my points on storing your precious metals. It's a tangible asset that you do need to take seriously. There's no point in stacking, especially a significant amount that you're investing of your own wealth, and then just leaving it sitting in a drawer or on a bookshelf or under your pillow, because that is really, really not a smart thing to do, in my opinion. If you're going all the way to investing in a tangible asset that you're actually putting quite a significant amount of wealth in, you do really need to spend an equal amount of time really thinking about how, where, and the security behind your storage of that precious metals bullion. Some top tips that I would have to say is don't store all of it together in one piece. Try and move it around in different areas. So if someone did find a piece where you maybe store your precious metals, maybe they're not going to hit the jackpot. And I think a big thing is have misleading places. You could even have a decoy safe on show, for example, that's bolted to the floor, equally really secure, and they're going to spend a lot of time getting into that only to come away empty-handed. And then hopefully by the time they've done that, they think it's probably time to go. Now, of course, this is all worst case scenarios. Hopefully this never happens to you, but if you do have deterrents in place, like outside visual alarms on the side of your property, cameras, I think that's a really good deterrent to even start from stopping people coming into your property. But that's my thoughts on how to protect your own real life treasure chest. Of course, most content creators will not reveal their top traded secrets because that's usually how they store their own precious metals. But I've given you a pretty generic, broad range of ideas there that you can take away and sit down and have a real good think of how you can store your precious metals. So a big shout out to the Stat Collector for giving me some great ideas on storing my own precious metals. I really appreciate it. And you can find his channel in the link of this video below. Big shout out to the channel members for being premium future investors. Your support means an awful lot. And if you've watched all the way till the end of this video, well, I really appreciate it. It does mean a lot. Let me know in the comment section if you've enjoyed seeing all of this gold bullion in this video and the topic I've discussed today. Until next time, I will see all of you wonderful future investors in the very next episode. Bye-bye, guys.